Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So, I'm Shama, Manager People Solution at Kadel Labs, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to another exciting session in our Expert Insight series, KL Tech Talk. At Kadel Labs, we are committed to sharing knowledge that drives innovation and transformation. Through this series, we bring insightful discussion from industry leaders to empower professionals like you with the tools and understanding needed to stay ahead in an ever evolving landscape. Let me briefly introduce who we are. Kadel Labs is a first of its kind venture studio in India, a global software technology incubator with a synergistic blend of IT services as well as SaaS products. Since 2017, we've grown organically to 180 plus employees, served 200 plus customers worldwide, and built a global presence with operations across multiple regions. Our expertise spans across diverse industries such as fintech, health tech, edtech, retail, insurtech, manufacturing, and telecom. So we specialize in delivering innovative solutions in cloud engineering, data analytics, software development, and AI services. At KD Labs, we pride ourselves in being a people centric organization, encouraging creativity, free flowing communication, and continuous innovation to deliver impactful products and services to our clients. Today's session is a part of our ongoing effort to address pressing challenges and explore transformative solutions. We are thrilled to introduce the topic leveraging large language models, LLMs, with retrieval augmented generation. LLMs have transformed natural language processing, but their potential grows when paired with retrieval augmented generation. So, this approach enhances AI accuracy by integrating real time information retrieval, making it invaluable for customer support, research, and enterprise knowledge management. We look forward to exploring how businesses can leverage LLMs and RAG to drive efficiency, innovation, and smarter decision making with Mr. Akshay Sharma. So, we are happy to have Akshay as today's speaker, sharing his insights with us. A quick note to the participants, we encourage you to actively participate by dropping in your questions in the chat box or Q&A section. So we'll address them during the interactive segment at the end of the session. Once again, thank you for joining us today. Let's dive in and explore how large language models and retrieval augmented generation are revolutionizing AI driven applications and decision making. Over to you, Akshay.
Hi everyone, my name is Akshay and I am working as a machine learning engineer too at GeoStar, and I am also a Kaggle competition expert, and I have main expertise in deep learning, recommendation systems, and all these fields. So today I will be discussing about how to leverage LLMs with retrieval augmented generation. So today's agenda will be, I will first introduce what are LLMs and RAGs, then why they are required, and their architectural and workflow, and what are the challenges come with the benefit of RAGs, and there are some of their real world application, and best practices to basically follow the RAG or implement the RAG. And then in last we have a QA session. Although you can drop questions during the session as well. Yeah. So basically, what are LLMs? So they are the AI models which are trained on vast textual data to understand and generate human-like language. So some of the examples you might know, like GPT-4, GPT-3, BERT. So these exist not recently, but BERT exists from 2019, and their capabilities are text generation, completion, language translation, summarization, and question answering, and also classification. But as we know, like LLMs are trained ones, so they have some limitation also, like static knowledge, inability to access real world data, hallucination, lack of specificity. So basically, suppose a model is trained into 20, so its knowledge will remain till 2023. And if you ask something like when the latest Ed Sheeran concert happened, so it might be giving you the wrong answer. So because it won't be able to access real-time information, and giving the wrong answer and some answer which make logically valid is called hallucination. And lack of when you ask, suppose you are in a medical field and you ask something related to which might be in general sense might make different sense. So it will give you a generic response, not a domain specific response. So these are some of the limitations of LLMs. So before moving to RAGs, I have a question for the participants. Which of the following is or are LLMs? So I will take 1 minute to basically, you can comment in the section, which of them for the answer. Okay. So yeah, the right answer is basically ChatGPT, Gemini, and Llama. So ChatGPT is from OpenAI, Gemini is from Google, and Llama is from Meta. Whereas this is a convolutional neural network for generally for images. So introduction to RAGs basically. What is RAG? RAG is a technique of combining LLM with the external knowledge. And what is the purpose of this? So basically to enhance and keep the information of the LLM output up to date. It majorly has two steps basically. First, it retrieves the relative documents to the query, and then along with that query, it get ingested into the LLM to produce the up to date and accurate answer. So why we need RAG? So dynamic information access. So it basically, as we know, like once a model is trained, its knowledge cannot be updated. So to overcome that issue, we use RAG. And as it can give you up to date information, it will reduce the hallucination problem as well. And as you are providing the context or the relevant document, it can give you answers in the domain specific manner, like medical or legal. So in this way, we also improve the user trust. So let's discuss about the architecture. So it have two components, as I told you earlier. So first, it basically, suppose a user done a query. First, it will check the relevant document corresponding to that query. And then along with, so this will be the retrieval part, which basically extract the relevant documents. Then along with that query, it goes into the LLM and then generate the output. This is the generator part. So let's discuss more in detail. So initially what happened from when a user came, it do some query, it goes to the LLM and then generate response. This is the flow without RAG. And so this part introduce the RAG part. So basically user do a query, it get into the embedding model, which basically then it has a now the embedding of a query. Then it check with the existing embeddings of the document. So it then selects some k documents relevant to that query, and then basically along with this query, this retrieved context goes into the LLM, and then it generates the accurate and correct answer. So is there any doubt till now? You can comment in the section. I will try to incorporate that. Okay, good to go then. Moving to the next slide. So type of retrieval method. So there can be different type of method like sparse retrieval, dense retrieval, and hybrid. So sparse retrieval is like keyword matching, just a keyword matching. So suppose you have a query and you have the documents, you will match their query keywords and then fetch the retrieve relevant documents. What is the pros of this? So as you know, this is the simplicity, simple and explainable, because you can say like these many words are matching. But what it is missing, it's the semantic similarity. Suppose the sentence can be written in different formats, and it might possible it does not match in keywords with the relevant document. So semantic similarity will be missing. Whereas dense retrieval is the embedding based method of matching. So in this way, if suppose the sentence is totally different and does not have any common keyword with the relevant document, it will able to match with the relevant document because it is more of a semantic similarity. The only con is it required more computational cost and time to process that to generate those embedding and match those embedding. And some of them, so sometimes we can use the hybrid model as well. So combination of sparse and dense. Now let's talk about knowledge, how to build knowledge base. Knowledge base here is like vector DB. So first, so there will be first we collect the data. So data collection can be done from documents, databases, website, and any other formats. Then we process the data, like cleaning, normalizing, and embedding generation, and then indexing. So basically, why indexing is necessary? So suppose it is stored in the embedding format, and now we know, like these are the top K embeddings matching with the query embedding. But how to retrieve that data, actual textual document? So that's why we need indexing. So using indexing, we can extract the original data and maintaining that. So next is maintenance. So we have to basically keep those vector DB up to date to basically have the latest up to date informations. Moving on to the challenges. So as you can see, before adding the RAG component, we have very simple process: query, LLMs, and then response. So basically adding these extra steps increase the computational resources and processing time, and it make the system more complex. And some of other, like data privacy. So it also, when we dump the data into the vector DB, it might possible we expose the sensitive information in the DB. And sometimes when we update the DB, so suppose initially we define some prompt to go with that query and the context, but with the time the document keep updating, so there might be some data drift which can create inconsistency in your output. So this can be the one issue, challenge while implementing or updating your DB. So how to mitigate these challenges? So suppose there are, so let's discuss about efficiency optimization. So suppose there are many users doing same query. So what we can do, we can save the result of those type of queries. That will reduce the complete cycle. So we don't have to go through the complete cycle. We can just output the previously asked question. We can build a distributed large system to basically have these faster processes. For privacy measures, we can remove or redact the data, like name or date of birth, or any kind of sensitive information can be redact. And to basically, we need to continuously evaluate our results whether they are aligning with the expected output or not. So we should have the user feedback mechanism, and as well as internal assessments of those results. I'm taking a little pause if someone has any question.
I think, Ashish, we can keep the question and answer session to in the end, so we can move forward. Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about some real world applications. So customer support, healthcare, legal research, these are some of the real world applications. There can be many. So I will talk about more about customer support. So suppose you bought e-commerce, suppose, and your some of your product is not good, or you have some complaint to related to your buy product. And so what will you do? You will go to the either the chat box of the company, and you will type, and they will allocate a human to resolve your query, or he will refer to you some FAQs. So what happened? You can basically for this use case, you can use a chatbot as well, which basically using LLM and RAG. So what can you do? You can build a vector DB using those FAQs of a company, and basically then the same process as I show you here. So you have a vector DB of company FAQs, you have a user query, you will match those queries with the FAQs, you will extract those top relevant FAQs, and then basically you use the query of a user and the top K relevant documents or FAQs, you can say, of the company along with that, and you can ask the LLM to give the response to the customer. In this way, you can reduce the human effort and also save the time and cost for the company. Similarly, for healthcare and research and legal research, basically the professional can refer to the updated docs in the similar fashion. So what are the best practices for RAGs? So first of all, whenever we are building the vector DB, it should be of high quality, because in machine learning, there is a say like garbage in, garbage out. So we have to keep our data, means the accurate and of high quality. We should not put anything into the vector DB. Robust evaluation metrics, although it's depend on the use case, but we should use metrics to evaluate our result, like precision, recall, F1 are some of the metrics which are used extensively. User experience design, we ensure that the responses are user friendly and clear. Ethical consideration, so LLMs are trained on society data, so it's also have the society biases, so we should have some mechanism to cater those biases and means to regulate those responses. And tools and framework which we can use for these are like for retrieval libraries we can use Fires and Annoy. Fires is a Facebook library by Facebook, and it can search billions of records in very efficient manner. Similarly, the frameworks are Hugging Face. So these are very old and up to date open source libraries. LangChain and embedding models. For embedding models, you can use many, but for starting, you can use the sentence transformer. It is a good starting point. For you can use cloud services for these processes like OpenAI or Microsoft Azure. So future direction. So today we have talked about the RAG system, which are completely based on text, but incorporating images, audio, video, create another level of challenge. So there are companies which are doing this, but this is still in progress, means it's a research field itself. Interaction and personalization retrieval. So nowadays, as you know, that ChatGPT have the complete information of those old your complete chats, including many 1 year long or this type of information still is a challenge. So these are some of the to basically personalize the experience on e-commerce or any other platform. It's difficult, still is difficult, and there are still advancement going on the retrieval side to extract the documents more accurately. So before the QA session, I have one question for the audience. Which of the following are wrong about RAGs? Help to keep LLM response up to date, reduce hallucination, helps in reducing system complexity, domain adaptability, and increase user trust. So you can write in the comment section. I will wait for 1 minute. Yeah, so this is the right answer. Help reducing means this is wrong about LLM, but it's a right answer. Help in reducing system complexity. So now QA session. So you can put the question in the comment section and I will try to answer.
Yes, we have also enabled the mic. So if there is any question, we can unmute ourselves and ask it directly to the panelist. Do we have any questions? Yes, we have one question from Yaknik.
Okay. How do we build LLM models? Okay, that is a means there is a complete process for building the LLM model. So before moving to RAG, you will build a you can build there can be different type of models, means it depends on your use case as well as the compute. So I first of all I don't advise to build a very large LLM models to because it costs you lots of money to basically build a model from the scratch. But if you want to build a model, so so there is a process like the data collection, then you need to define the losses, then basically the model, and then you will train the means it's a complete process. So I can share you the link for building these models, but yeah, means it's not like a short answer for this. So it's a complete process and you need a lot of resources for that.
Yes, so if we have any more questions, we can drop it in the chat box or we can unmute ourselves. So we have one more question from one of the team.
Okay.
So what are the future trends in retrieval augmented AI and how will they impact industries? So this is one question, Akshay.
Okay, can you repeat?
Yes, sure. So what are the future trends in retrieval augmented AI and how will they impact industries? So this is a question from one of our professionals.
Okay. So yeah, so as I talked here, so some of them retrieval like these things. So currently we are majorly invested and improve the accuracies and the performance in the textual side. So current future direction are like for incorporating images, means you want to search based on the images. So there are startups which are doing this, but the accuracies and basically the what I say, the scalability is still low. So these are some of the directions. Like suppose you are in the e-commerce and you like some clothes, and you can click the photo and upload that photo in the chat box, and it can help you in searching the repository of the e-commerce and give you some relevant or related products to that. So this is one of the examples. So you can do other things with this as well. So yeah, these are some of the future direction which is increasing and getting good with the time.
Perfect. Okay, Akshay. I hope the question is answered. And we have one more question. So, this is from one of the students who have joined our session today. So, the question is, what are some tools or frameworks that can be used to implement RAG?
Okay, so for as I talked earlier, like you can for retrieval to save your DB and retrieve that vector DB, you can use fires and annoy type of tools. And for implementing LLMs and this type of framework, you can use Hugging Face and LangChain. And for generating, you can means this similarly a framework for the same. So I hope this answers.
Yes, so we have one more question that is from Pranvi. So, what is the
Okay.
difference between traditional chatbots and LLMs?
So basically, traditionally, chatbots are means currently what I have talked, it's can be said as a chat box, but chatbot, sorry. But in a traditionally, what happened? These are some of the rule based and the mix of hybrid basically. So initially, we have that in initial stage we have nor LSTM RNN based models as well. So initially, those are built of mix of some logics, some model based, and today as well there are some logics and LLM based. So the term has changed, but the things are still same. So it's a combination of some logic and some modeling type of things. So they are not different, they kind of similar.
All right. So I hope all the questions have been answered. So do we have any more questions? Yes, I think that's all for today. So thank you, Akshay. So it was indeed an insightful session. So I think all the questions were answered. And yes, thank you everyone for joining us today. Hope to see you all in the next webinar. Thank you.
Thanks everyone, bye bye.